This is a installation video on installing a HRT turbofan on a Can-Am X3 Max. This is a 4-seater, so this option comes with the fan. Instead of having your switch up here like on the 2-seater, it's on an extended harness. So I can run all the way to your center console, so you have reverse of the off and the forward and reverse up by the driver. And then you have an extended power wire that is going to go to the CAN bus. So this new version runs off of the accessory CAN bus instead of just the battery. So I will show you guys how to install it. It's very simple. And first thing we're going to do to start is we're going to pull off the old bulkhead here. Put that off to the side. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to pull out this rear seat. And then we're also going to pull out this passenger seat here. It's a 18mm on the back for both bolts, and then up top here to pull off the harness straps. It's going to be 18mm, and then it's 13mm that you'll take off. You just take off the seats. So now we're going to pull the plastics out, and the plastics do overlap, so we're going to start from the back one and move our way forward. So make sure you don't lose these blue tabs as well. Make sure they don't pop out. You see these right here. And we'll just kind of pull them all out. Now this one has a tab that like hooks underneath here, so what I like to do is just push down a little bit. So that one right there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to route these wires. So one goes to the CAN bus and one goes to the center console to the turbofan itself. So we'll start with our CAN bus. One. We need a 10mm socket. Let's see here. We got our 10mm. We've got our harness here. So this one's accessory, this one's ground. We're going to utilize these two. So that wasn't tight on the way. Do our ground. And then we'll route it through the tunnel. Now we're going to route it through this opening back here, and we'll pull it up to the top so I can plug into the turbofan. There you go. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to install the switch, and normally I would install right here or just in one of these slots here. It's important to note that this is not the same size as one of your standard rocker switches, so don't cut out the little imprints they give you. It's going to be smaller than that. Same width, but it's not going to be as long of a cutout. But in this case, what we have here is a plate that goes right here. So we'll cut out this section here, and then you rivet it to the plastic, and then this smaller slot here is the size that you're going to need for this. Now I got that opening cut out. Also, we do make these for both regular size rocker switches. We also just make one for our turbofans size rocker switch. So this will fit in right there. And we got rivets that come with it. You just rivet them into the plastic. Then we have a block off plate that will just click in right there. And then we have a switch nut we can install. We can route through here. Let's see here. So now we get that clicked in. The next thing that we're going to do before we put our switch in here is, if you look down on the side here, because it's too shallow here, we're going to have to cut away a little bit of this center console trim piece here. This right here. We're going to have to take away a little bit off of there. Just let the wires that are hanging down from here will clear, so we can let the wires. So just going to take out a little bit here. Just down this section right here. Everything straight down there. Alright, we got that trimmed away. I just took off a little bit down here. So now we can route this. I'll click in right there. And you're just going to route this back to where the turbofan's going to go. I'll grab a turbofan over here. Now you got your wires here. We can plug this in. Now I would take note of just how much slack you have, because you don't want a ton of the wire hanging out. Just enough to pull up the fan off, and just enough to unplug it, because you get the wires hanging around too much, they're going to rest on the sway bar or maybe rest on the engine, so you just got to be careful and zip tie the wires up depending on how much slack you have. So now you can test your fan before you put everything back together. So go over here. So you see it's lighting up. I don't have it turned up at all, so now we can come in here. We'll turn up the fan speed. And then go the other way with it. So this is pushing air in. Any hot air off the turbo will be pulling it into the cabin. Or in the summertime, what's nice about this is it gets really hot in this back area here. So this is nice for pulling heat out of the cabin in warmer weather. But that is basically it. That's how you install our max turbofan. And you'll just put everything back the way you pulled it apart. Put the panels back in and put the seats back in, and you're good to go.